I find one comment in particular to repeat itself quite often in many of my observations, especially when I do them over water. It's my misunderstanding of perspective is the reason why targets fall below eye level over flat level water. So I've recreated these observations right here in the office. So this table represents the flat level water. And I've got a smart level on here, and I put that smart level in degrees, and you can see that I am at 0 degrees. 0 degrees. This string line right here represents the height of the instrument above the surface of the water. This is eye level. And I've got 3 inches at either end. I've got 3 inches over here. And 3 inches over here. Box here will represent my target. Sometimes it's a boat. More often than not, it's a boat. But in some cases, we'll say it was an oil rig, like say out in Santa Barbara when I observed the black swan. So here I am. I'm at the edge of the water. The end of the smart level represents the point of the observation. And I've pulled the tape for a distance here. And I've come over at approximately 3 foot there. And now we're going to advance the straight edge on top of the box and read off the angle. As we can see here, the angle is 12.3 degrees. However, since there's been no change here in grade or elevation, even at 3 feet out from the point of the observation, I'm still 3 inches, which means I'm bisecting this target at 3 inches. Still at 3 inches. Now we're going to take the target all the way to the end over here. The angle is going to get smaller, but where do you think the string is going to bisect the target at? If I take a line and draw straight down here, we can see that I'm approximately 5.5 feet away from the point of the observation. And I have an angle of 7 degrees, so roughly 5 degrees smaller. As you can see, the angle that subtends the opposite side of the triangle here got smaller, but the target itself hasn't shrank. In fact, if we come over here and we look, and I were to mark up 3 inches on this box, we could see that this hasn't dropped at all due to perspective. As you can see here, even though I advanced the target 2 feet forward and the angle got smaller by approximately 5 degrees, my line of sight, or this string, is still striking that target at 3 inches. So as it turns out, it's not my misunderstanding of perspective. It's actually you that doesn't understand perspective. Even if we carried this string all the way to the other side over there, if there's no change in grade or elevation here on the surface of the water, and this target doesn't actually physically shrink, it will be physically impossible to get this string to go over that box. So here's a perfect demonstration. This is an observation I made over water just outside of Reno in Nevada on the Paiute Indian Reservation at the Pyramid Lake. The height or elevation of that crosshair is 2.5 feet above the surface of the water. I'm not sure the distance to the boat, but if the water is 0 degrees horizontal and that black line, that horizontal line, represents the string line, then how is it that there's a guy out there who's at least 5 feet tall? I'd say the boat's about 10 feet. How is that boat and that guy much taller in size than the height of that crosshair, yet I'm over the top of them? So explain to me how that happens using perspective and the demonstration that I just gave. Thanks.